Pump your fist like this. I'll lift the hammer. Pump, it's your best. Till I sell out, living it up. One way or another, you'll be giving it up. But it's all about a new plan. Hey, I'll be swinging like a one-man clan. Will I quit? They claim that I'm bad, but still I can't. Like I say, never give up on a good thing. When stop and when cars are up there.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. Hey, breaking news, and this is breaking. A Republican has found 2 balls in his shorts. A Republican has found a little bit of iron in his spine. A single Republican in America has finally fought back against the weaponized fascism of the occupying regime that has overtaken this party. We live under an occupying force that is not anything remotely a semblance to American at all. They are the evil powers that we actually your grandfathers traveled to Europe to fight against. They are fascistic. They are Bolshevik. These people are deep and total communists. That's why they're trying to lock up their political enemies. That's why they're trying to make Donald Trump a political prisoner. They're trying to lock you up for your thought crimes. Oh yeah, baby. That's right. George Orwell predicted it. But a Republican is fighting back. And I think that's worthy of note. A Republican state senator, Colton Moore, has officially called for an emergency session to review actions by the Fulton County DA Fani Willis that may lead to a possible impeachment and political indictment of Trump. America is under attack. I'm not going to sit back and watch radical left prosecutors politically target political opponents. Well, that's commendable. Check this out. Here's from Colton Moore. He's a state senator, District 53. An email to a letter to Brian Kemp. We, the undersigned, being duly elected members of the Georgia House of Representatives and Georgia State Senate, comprising of 3/5 of each respective house, pursuant Article blah, 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 hereby certify you in writing with a copy of the Secretary of State. In our opinion, an emergency exists in the affairs of the state requiring a special session to be convened under law. Hey-yo. To review the response and actions of Fani Willis. Hey-yo. There you go, baby. Rock and roll. Let's see what happens. This is making news across the country. Georgia state senator takes first step to impeach Trump's Fulton County prosecutor. So I come from Florida. I'm currently in Nashville. And actually in the states of Tennessee and in Florida, George Soros district attorneys have been kicked out of office by the governors or by popular vote because they are utilizing their positions in order to effectively violate state law. So this can happen. This can happen. Here is the state senator's Twitter account right here. And this is for real. Here's his letter. What does he say? As a Georgia state senator, I'm officially calling for an emergency session to review the actions of Fani Willis. America is under attack. I'm not going to sit back and watch as radical left prosecutors politically target political opponents. Good for him. Man, somebody has actual backbone inside of the Republican Party. Finally, a Republican with a backbone, people are saying. So good. I hope that this better happen. This better happen because there is shady shit going down in Georgia. Shady shit. So you might recall, and we published this instantly when it happened, that they released the charges against Donald Trump before the jury had voted. So how in the F did they know the charges against Donald Trump before the jury had even voted? Check out this local news report. This is, by the way, not up for dispute. This is legitimately what it looks like to have a rigged system where they knew they knew how the jury was going to vote before they voted. Huh? What the hell? Is this Stalin's Russia?
And Linda, Shea Alexander says she was under a lot of pressure to make sure this process went smoothly. There were no hiccups. She says in trying to be perfect, she made a mistake, and instead of hitting save, she hit send.
I am human.
Fulton County Clerk of Court Shea Alexander says even though she's human, she strives for perfection.
And that's how the mishap happened.
The mishap was she inadvertently posted the indictment charges against former President Donald Trump, even though the grand jury was still deliberating Monday. That set off a media firestorm and had Trump's attorneys saying prosecutors had no respect for the grand jury process. Alexander said this had nothing to do with the DA's office and there was nothing sinister about the mistake she made.
I have no dog in the fight.
She says in an effort to handle the indictment perfectly, she messed up.
I did a work sample in the system, and when I hit save, it went to the press queue.
Some news reporters saw it before it was deleted. Alexander says what they saw was unofficial.
It wasn't an official document. It wasn't official charges. It was the dry run. It was a work sample.
Even though it had a case number, Alexander says it didn't have a stamp and other markings that would have made it official. I asked her why did she release a statement calling the document fictitious.
That was the best word I could come up with. It was fictitious. It wasn't real. It didn't have a stamp on it.
Why didn't you just say it was an error?
She says fictitious was what her team came up with.
We've been getting some calls.
Her office has received calls and emails with threats. People saying, "I'm coming to get you." Those threats have been forwarded to the sheriff's office. Alexander says she was under a lot of pressure to get this right. Now she says she just wants to explain what happened and get back to work.
I tell my staff we just want to be transparent, right? And so I don't have anything to hide.
And Alexander says her mistake had no impact on the grand jury's decision. I asked her, how did she get her hands on those charges? She says she has access to that information as clerk of court. She says her office is taking those threats very seriously.
Oh, yes. Okay, so definitely the most competent people running everything. So they clicked send instead of save. Got it? Low information morons. These people are drooling idiots. And these are the people like running your country. These are the people running your voting systems. Huh. Got it. Really gives you a lot of confidence in the system, doesn't it? There are also very strange behaviors of Fani Willis, this George Soros appointed district attorney. She's giggling and laughing upon this indictment of Donald Trump. That was particularly odd. She was asked about the indictment appearing on the court's docket before the jury had voted. Here's what she had to say.
To the Fulton County Clerk's office that was circulated online, charges against former President Donald Trump. That fictitious document matched exactly the charges that we now see in this indictment. Can you tell more about that document leak? Because now you have the former president's lawyers who are saying this is emblematic of a serious problem with your office.
No, I can't tell you anything about what you refer to. What I can tell you is that we had a grand jury here in Fulton County. They deliberated till almost 8 o'clock, if not right after 8 o'clock. An indictment was returned. It was true billed, and you now have an indictment. I am not an expert on clerks' duties or even administrative duties. I wouldn't know how to work that system, and so I'm not going to speculate. Next.
Completely subliterate. I mean, listen to the way that these people talk. Legitimately, listen to the way that these people talk. These are political activist apparatchiks. They're not lawyers. They're not legal professionals. They are out here in order to get Donald Trump, period. I can't tell you anything about what you're referring to. I'm not an expert on clerk duties. Got it? Yeah, clearly. You are an expert on a singular thing, which is the only goal of Fani Willis and the only goal of this office, which isn't to solve crime, which isn't to stop the enormous skyrocketing murders, crime, vagrancy, and just pure and total societal collapse that is occurring all around Atlanta. We go to Atlanta often to do reports. I know exactly how wretched that place is. Her entire goal has been to remove Donald Trump from the ballot, and Donald Trump's not standing by and letting it happen. Trump announced his plan to appoint a special counsel to investigate Joe Biden and his corruption when he's reelected. Should have happened in the first term, but hey, better late than never. I believe we have a compromised president, Trump says. Bribed, blackmailed, Manchurian candidate. Justice will be done. Donald Trump also, for his part, releasing a very powerful ad in response to this latest indictment. Sends chills up your spine. Here's for saving America, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this ad.
The test of a man is how much he will bear for a cause which he knows to be right. How long will he stand in the depths of despair? How much will he suffer and fight? There are many to serve when the victory is near, and few are the hurts to be borne. But it calls for a leader of courage to cheer the men in a battle forlorn. It is the way you hold out against odds that are great that proves what your courage is worth. It is the way that you stand to the bruises of fate that shows up your stature and girth. And victory is nothing but proof of your skill, veneered with a glory that's thin. unless it is a proof of unfaltering will, and unless you have suffered to win.